Hi, I'm Yvette, and tonight I'm going to cook a gumbo for my family. It's Friday. It's a great dish to make for a weekend because you can eat on it all weekend long. And I'm going to go ahead and double the recipe, but the recipe I'm going to share with you today is just the single portions. So the ingredients I'm going to tell you today is going to feed about 10 people. So I'm going to double this, and I'm going to have it for about 20 people. So, okay, first thing you're going to need is half a cup of vegetable oil, and you need 1 pound of a smoked sausage. I like to get a andouille sausage if you can find that. It's very good. You can also do a kielbasa sausage, which is in every grocery store. But if you can get your hands on an andouille, get that. And you need 1 pound of that. And smoked. Make sure it's a smoked sausage. And then you also need chicken thighs. You need about a pound, maybe a pound and a half, boneless, skinless thighs. And let's see, what else? You need some either Tony seasoning, or this one's called Cajun Blast. It really doesn't matter. Something that's got a lot of different seasonings, that is the Cajun seasonings. And then you need a cup of flour. So I've got my flour out here. You need 2 cups of chopped onions. So about that size, 2 of those should do, about 2 cups of that. Dice those up kind of fine. 1 cup of your chopped celery, and you need a cup of chopped green bell pepper. So I always have that on hand. I'm going to double it, and I don't have another green one, so I'm going to throw in a red, which I'll be fine too. Green I just think tastes better in a gumbo. 1 teaspoon of salt, 3 bay leaves. So if you've got some bay leaves, you want to put some of those in there. You're going to need about 10 to 12 cups of a chicken broth or a vegetable broth. I like to use a chicken broth. And a half of a cup of green onions and 2 tablespoons of parsley. So that's it. That's all you have. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up my meat into bite-sized pieces. And I'm going to chop up all of my vegetables. And then I'll meet you back and show you what to do after that, okay? I just wanted to show you real quick how I cut the sausage up. I am using 2 pounds of this because I said I was doubling it. So one I have is an andouille, it's a spicy, and one is just a regular smoked kielbasa. So it kind of balances it out. But I'll go ahead and take the sausage, cut it in half like I did here, and then I'll cut it again, so almost quartering, and then I'm going to cut about that size of a piece is what you're looking for. So when we brown that up, it gets really good flavor, and it's a good size for a mouthful when you're eating the gumbo. So come back and I'll show you. We're also going to be dicing up our, let me just go ahead and show you how fine the bell pepper and the onion's going to get chopped up. This fine and even finer than this, because we're going to saute it, and we're really looking for the juices from the vegetables. Whew, we're done with all that chopping. Okay, take a look at all the veggies that got chopped up. And we got our chicken chopped up into bite-sized pieces, and we have our sausage chopped up. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the chicken. I have some oil over here. Follow me over here. I have some oil in this pan, and it's hot, very hot. And we want the chicken to be browned on all the sides. And once that happens, I'm going to take it out of here, put it in a dish, and put it in the refrigerator. We're going to use it later, okay? This is also the time when I add the Tonys to the chicken while it's being browned. So I'll go ahead and sprinkle that on there. Not a lot, because it's pretty hot, and we want the kids to eat it. Okay, so I have my chicken all cooked up, and next I'm going to go ahead and cook the sausage in here. Same pan. I just put the chicken in this. I'm letting it cool off a little bit, then I'll put the lid on it, and I'll put that in the refrigerator until later. I cooked it until the chicken was just about completely done. You don't want to cook it completely, but you want it probably 3/4 of the way cooked. So next is the sausage. It's going to go in this pan, and we're going to get it to where it's kind of not burnt on the outside, but really, really done and crispy on the outside. It gives it a really good flavor, adds a lot of flavor to the gumbo. So I'm going to do that next. Okay, so while the sausage is being cooked up, I'm going to go ahead and start my roux. And a roux really is just oil and flour. So for this recipe, it's a half a cup of oil. We're going to put it in here. I'm doubling it, so I have 1 cup of oil going in. And you have to get this really, really hot before you put the flour in. So we're going to let that get hot, and then I'll show you how we do the flour. You're going to constantly stir the flour for about 20 to 25 minutes. And you're going to get like a real dark chocolate colored thick flour. It's real dark. The darker, the more flavor. So I'll show you how to do that. Okay, my oil is really, really hot right now, so I'm going to go ahead and put in the flour, and then I'm going to stir it with this roost stick. I have a roost stick. I am from South Louisiana, so we have roost sticks. But just a spoon will be fine for you too. Whoa! That was really hot oil. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. So then you just start stirring. Show you this. You can tell it's already starting to get a little bit of a golden color. And I'm going to just stir that in, keep stirring until it gets real smooth. And I need to put 1 more cup of flour in here because I'm doubling it. So let me get that. Okay, I got my other cup of flour in here. So I'm going to start stirring that around. And it's going to get real, real thick. And it's going to start turning, little by little, it's going to start turning a real dark color. You want it to eventually become the color of a dark chocolate. And I'm looking at the clock right now. It's 3:55, so I'm going to be probably stirring this off and on. You have to, it says constantly stir it, but you don't constantly, you want it to cook a little bit, but you cannot burn a roux. If you burn it and you get little black flecks in it, you got to throw it out and start over. It gives it a really yucky taste, but we're not going to do that. We're going to watch it and stay here and stir it until we get that real nice color that we want. I want to show you what the color of the roux is right now. So you can see that. It's still not quite where we want it to be. So I'll just keep stirring it, scraping the bottom. That's why I like to use a flat edge spoon, like the one I have here, because it really gets the edges, the sides. You want to just kind of keep that moving so it doesn't get burned. And in the meantime, I'm sweating my veggies over here. So I've got them just cooking up. They've been cooking, oh, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, probably another minute or 2, and probably about another 10 on the roux. So we're getting there, and then we'll throw a lot of this stuff together, pretty much everything except for the chicken, and we're going to let that cook for an hour uncovered, but I'll show you what I dump in there, what we put in there, okay? Alright, so the roux is at the color that we want. You can take a look at this. It's a nice, really dark brown, and that's about the color you want. It took me about 20 minutes. It takes 20 to 25 depending on your heat. I did mine on a high, maybe a medium high, but you want it pretty hot, but you constantly are stirring this. So now we're ready to add the other things in. Your recipe that I gave you is 8 to 10 cups of the stock. I'm doubling that, so I'm going to go for 16 to 18. It's really hot, so be careful. You pour in some of your stock right into the roux and start stirring that. You want to mix that together. Very, very hot, so be careful of the steam, not to burn you. And you're going to stir this up, thickens it up, and then just keep adding that in. Just that first blast really, it cools it off, so you get your most of your steam from that. But I'm going to go ahead and pour in all of my stock right now. And oh, I love the smell of a roux. I remember growing up, I'm from South Louisiana originally, and oh gosh, we had a gumbo at least once every other week. And just coming home and smelling that roux, oh, it smells so good. Some people don't like the smell of it, but I like the smell of it. It reminds me of home, of course. So anyway, go ahead and get all your stock in. I've got 1 more of these to pour in. I'm making a big, big pot of gumbo. It is time consuming to make this, so that's why I just go ahead and double it. If I'm going to sit here and make all this, I'm going to make a big pot of it. So before I get that all stirred together, I'm going to go ahead and put in all my veggies, and it starts to really fill the pot up, you'll see. Careful not to splash on yourself. Those are been cooked for, oh, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes with a little bit of vegetable oil. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my sausage in there. Whoa, sorry. Add the sausage in. Again, careful for it not to splash on you. And not to get the paper towels in there. It would not taste very good. So you get all the sausage in there. And we're going to put in our bay leaves, which 3 for your recipe, so I'll put in 6 in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you're going to take those bay leaves out later, but it just gives it a good flavor for now. So that's it. So now we're going to stir, get all that roux from the bottom of the pot mixed in with this. And you can come over and take a look. It's already starting to look like a big pot of gumbo. Very, 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 very good. Now people make gumbo all kinds of different ways. I should know what the definition of gumbo is, but I know it's just a big pot where you throw everything together. And people make it all different ways. But my favorite is that andouille sausage and the chicken. I think it tastes the best. So anyway, we're going to let that, I'm going to stir this all up until I know the roux is mixed in really well. And then we're going to turn it up to a boil. Let that come to a boil. Once it starts to boil, I'm going to turn it down on low, and I'm going to let it cook for about an hour. And then we're going to add our chicken in, let that cook for another hour, and then we'll add a couple more spices in, and then we're done. Okay, so it's been about an hour and the gumbo is just about done. So now I'm going to add the chicken that we had put in the refrigerator earlier. We're going to add that to this and let it cook for about another hour. And then after an hour, we're going to chop up our green onions and we're going to add our parsley and our salt. And that's it. We'll be done. And I'm going to make some white rice, and that's going to go on top of the white rice, and I'll show you when I have it all put together. The gumbo is ready, so you can take a look at it there. Yummy, yummy, yummy in that pot. And we have our rice made. Just make the white rice, follow the directions on the package. And now I'm going to go ahead and plate it. We have some friends over, well, the kids have some friends over, so I'm going to go ahead and make it up. You just put the rice in the bowl, and then we're going to ladle that gumbo right over the top of that. And we're going to serve it with some French baguette is best. Tonight we're doing rolls because that's what I have on hand. And that's it. So bon appetit.